Hey guys, Callwolf here, and we are back with the results slash week 2 update for the Creative Command Tournament. And this is my third time recording this, but sorry that this came out like a day late because I recorded it twice, didn't work twice, it had glitches and stuff. So I'm recording this for a third time, but you know, that's always a good thing because it took about a day for people to get back to me and say, oh, well, this is how my thing is supposed to work, so we'll go over that in a little bit, but there was a bunch that I had to change the scores of pretty drastically, so we'll get into those, but it didn't change any of the first, second, or third place. Well, it changed to the third place, but it didn't change the first or second place. So let's head over. Oh, and just a quick note, I did change all of these from wools to shulker boxes where you can hold your little prizes that you get. So I thought that was pretty cool. So over here is the winners area, and I did already roll the next week's theme word and type, and I really liked it, so I left it, so I'm not going to re-roll it. But here we are over at the winners, and we have the first, second, and third place, and then we have honorable mentions. So if you're not in the first, second, or third, chances are that maybe you came close, so stick around to hear about those. First, second, third place, I'll go through it third, then second, then first, and then we'll talk about the people that came close but not quite to the point, and I have pretty much an explanation as to why for each of them. Anyway, so third place, we have a three-way tie between Veras, Alvin Westling, and Kodak. So I'm just gonna leave him in here since you don't put him anywhere. So Kodak, he created kind of like a Predator style thing where you drop craft an item, and then when you put it in your offhand and you stand in a certain biome, it will create a trail of blocks on the floor, as well as color your armor to kind of match the environment. And his contrast, I didn't see it at first, but his contrast was in the blocks on the floor between like how when you went in the desert, there was contrast between red and the desert color, and there was contrast in the nether between the nether quartz and the nether, so I gave those points back to him. He is tied for third now. Then there was Elvis Westling. He made a really nice looking fireworks display box, and the fireworks display box was kind of shot off. Now, I didn't say it. Ikodak, his where he did, which didn't let him come in first place, was the it wasn't as entertaining. Also, keep in mind that this guy got 89, this guy got 90, this guy got 91, so it's very close. But anyway, so Alvin, he got what he did was he created like a little fireworks box that you have to drop craft, and then it shoots fireworks up in the sky in a cool fireworks display. It's pretty long, pretty awesome. Problem with his is creativity, because I have seen fireworks displays like that before. Veras, his was really cool. It was like painting the different blocks into purple and yellow, depending on what it is. So it would change colors of entities like sheep and dog colors, using little potion things. His problem the one that made his lack was design, because he just had a potion of lingering, and in addition, there was also some other things like entertainment. It was like fun, but not super fun. So I decided to put theirs in third, but it's only by like 2 points, so it's hard to say exactly. I don't memorize like the numbers of all 55 contestants, but that's in general what probably made him lose out. Anyway, so those three will get their season 1 bronze medals, which I will give to them right here, which is a cool little thing I thought of. If you're watching this talk, this is a really easy way to keep track of who gets what, and also to award people without having to worry about space. Of course, it does lack the essence of like visibly being able to see a difference, but that'll be the winner will get a special thing, which you guys will see, but not the winner of this week, because this is just a weekly winner. Anyway, so we're gonna put these back, and I just levitated up a block. Holy crap! There we go. That's always free. Okay, so second place goes to Chris Mattis. Chris, what he did was he created a thing where you would basically paint the nether back into the overworld, which I thought was really great. It was cool, it was creative, it was entertaining, but where he missed out and number one didn't, so probably the one place where he has one less point than the first guy is in functionality, because it was fairly laggy just because of the lava and lighting updates. But other than that, his was really great. So we're going to put this down here, and he gets his silver medal, his season 1 week 1 silver medal. And then let's go on to week 1, which is Pepjin. Pepjin, he created a thing, which I will show you just because I still have it. It's easy to find. Might as well, since he's the weekly winner. This is just the weekly winner, keep in mind, because this isn't the overall winner. He just had the most points this week. Overall will be most points altogether, so you can still beat him. Oh, and it's actually doing it for me already. Okay, so this is his. It creates a cool firework and gives you a random loot chest. You can right-click it. And it also has a bunch of fail-safes, so you can't use one at the same time. You can't have two people using it at the same time if it's multiplayer. That way it's multiplayer friendly. It looks really cool little animation. Not too complicated, but pretty cool. And it has a lot of replay value. Like, I enjoy opening these things because somebody can open these like over and over and never see the same thing twice. Or maybe they will, but it would take a while to see the same thing twice. Point being, this is entertaining because you can open it a lot. It's creative because I didn't think somebody made something that you would see to get a cosmetic on a server, kind of like how Mindpixel, I just combined their names. Mindplex has their, they're kind of like you open the chests that are around you, you pick one and you get your cosmetics. But this one's really cool and I like it, and it reminds me of like a case opening thing if you've ever played CS:GO. It's like, and it even has the sound effects too to go with it. I just thought it was really cool. It won by 1 point though, so it's not like this is so much better than the other ones that you've seen, or really so much better than any of the other creations. It's just that it had that little extra edge of no lag, no lag, really creative, and really entertaining. So that is the week 1 winner. Now, most of the points were very close, which is why I'm just saying, like, most of them were fairly close to the high 80s. There was a ton of people in the high 80s, which is good because then you still have a chance to win, because if somebody that had more points than you decides not to create for week 2 or week 3, then you pretty much, there's no way they can beat you. So anyways, so let's take a look at, these are the honorable mentions, and I think by now I've memorized what each of them are, but maybe not. Anyway, so DJ Khaled, his is a thing where you shoot an egg and it opens a chest just like Pepgin's, but the problem with his was he didn't have a randomized thing because he ran out of commands, because he made it look so cool when it opens up, but the chest is the same every time. If he had that, he might have came in first. Computer Tech, his was really nice. His was a soundboard, but his problem is he didn't include the theme words. Sticky Piston Cinema, his was a really nice looking GUI, probably one of the best GUIs, but his problem was he used most of the commands making the GUI, so the entertainment was lacking, and GUI stuff kind of falls under design / functionality. So while it looked cool, it didn't focus on the categories that were more important. Anyway, JoJo's was probably the best, like, general just cosmetics with particles. His was really cool because it had a lot of different things you can mix and match, but his problem was creativity. Mr. Lion, his was like the best particle bow. It had a lot of cool particle bow effects and sound effects, but the problem with his was when you select what bow you want, you right click on the actual machine, so it kind of lacks in functionality. Then there's Aren 9 Uton. He had probably the coolest 3D models. He had like a really cool looking squid that you could wear on your head. They were hats, really cool hats, and I could see him using it on a server or something like that because they're really nice. But his problem was entertainment. Plagiatus, he had a really awesome looking in-game GUI in the inventory that worked actually really well once I played it in survival mode or adventure mode. But his problem was creativity because it was fireworks again. Yarrow, his had a really cool like little mob animation where the mob grew bigger. It was a slime and it exploded, which was cool, but at the same time creativity and entertainment, not as much. Jayberry, he had a really cool creeper show. He basically, the creeper exploded and did like a fireworks display, which was cool, but lacked in creativity and not as entertaining and detailed as Alvin's. Why is Ico Dax head here? Okay. The Moo, he had a cat and dog launcher with a 3D model for a cannon, which was cool, but he lacked in difficulty because it was only a few command blocks, and he kind of lacked in entertainment as well. And then DS43M, he made the ink gun, which the only problem that I had with that in terms of being able to rank higher was that it had low creativity because it was basically pretty much all the functions were copied, like the things were copied from Splatoon. But other than that, it was a really cool thing. If it was if I was doing if this week was a recreation, that would have scored like way higher because it's a good recreation. But this week was cosmetic. Anyway, so those are the honorable mentions. There's a ton more that got like high 70s, low 80s, but those are just ones that I wanted to point out. Really nice job, guys. 55 contestants, 55 different contestants. Anyway, so this week is week 2, and week 2 we are there's going to be an extra question on the Google form where it asks if your head is already in here. Select yes or no depending on whether your head is already in here. That would make my job easier. And also, I will show you guys how you should submit maps after this because I had a couple problems. This can help us fix the problems. Especially since this coming up week, I'm going to try and make things go more efficiently and faster. So if there is any problems, I might not spend time to try and fix them. So you got to do what I tell you at the end of this video. Anyway, so I already did the randomizer. Sorry to ruin your guys' fun, but I already did it because I don't want to change it because it's so good. We got mini game, which is exactly what I want. We got large, and we got flight. So my rules for this week, some things to keep in mind. So flight is, if you use Elytra, make sure you make it creative. If it's just if I see anything that involves Elytra in order to use the word flight, I might instinctually think it down on creativity. So if you're going to use Elytra, make sure you use them in a very creative manner because that's the first thing that comes to mind when I think minigame and flight. Large, just keep in mind you can twist these however you want. You could take something that's meant to be small and make it normal size. That's a large version of something small. You can I mean, technically, if you type this in your map and you argued that this zombie is a large baby zombie, I guess there you go. I got to give it to you. Anyway, so each theme word that you don't use, it's minus 10 points this week, so it's even more of a penalty than last week. And mini game is, well, I mean, technically each one in this week was minus 10, but there was no way you couldn't incorporate thing. So minus 10 each one, as usual. And if you don't incorporate the game type, like if you don't make it an actual mini game which should have scores or some way to win or something like that, then you're going to get minus 10 as well, which is the same thing as last week. I just didn't formally say it. People that didn't really make, I mean, once people explained it to me and I checked it out, it was more, I was like, oh, okay, that's more like a cosmetic. But if it wasn't a cosmetic, you got minus 10, and if it wasn't contrast, then you got another minus 10. But this week, there's just more ways to lose, so you can lose up to 30 points. So make sure you incorporate the theme words and the map type. That is really important. Now, in terms of sending me maps, I have, I think, an example somewhere. Yes, okay, so I want you to name your world your player name. That's the easiest thing for me. Cloud underscore wolf, your in-game name, not what you prefer to be called. Then inside the world, you need to have a sign that says how to play, and how many players it requires, and all that stuff. If you don't, then I might not even play it. Just because I'm anticipating that at least half of you are going to submit for week 2. So if we get 20 for week 2 and I only want to make like 3 videos, that's like at least 8 a video. So that would be kind of annoying if I'm doing multiplayer. So, also side note, I'm pretty sure I already said this, but if you're doing, it needs to be either a single player or multiplayer minigame, but multiplayer, it cannot be more than 2 players. It's 2 players max, because I know I can get somebody on at pretty much any time to play in a 2-player minigame, but I don't know about 3 or 4, so 2 is the max. Then if you're doing a structure block, I don't know what you would be doing a structure block for, maybe a small minigame, I don't know, but if you're sending it through a structure block, make sure you have a sign that says your name and the title, maybe your player head would even help just another step further. Also needs to say how to play with signs, because I need to know how to do it. You can leave stuff in the notes on how to play, but it helps a lot if you have the opportunity to put a sign in. Also, when you save it as your name, because that's just the easiest thing for me to figure out who's who. Then also, if you are doing it in a function file, send me a .zip folder, which has, well, no, just send me your folder. Your folder that you create the functions in should be titled your name, so cloud underscore wolf. And then inside the one that you should always loop should be probably called main or something. That's not as big of a deal because you can put it in the notes in the submission. But if you're doing a function, make sure in the notes you explicitly state all the different how to play and what I'm supposed to do to set it up. And make sure that the folder is named your name so I don't get confused with another creation. But other than that, that's all that I want you guys to specifically do for submitting them. I'll probably try to only post every other day, but have more things in each one. Hopefully you guys can make it 100. Again, 100 commands is the max limit, which I know might seem a little crazy because it's a mini game, but 100 commands is the max. So you're gonna have to get smart. You're gonna have to think and think outside the box and think of using different things to achieve what you want to do. So 100 command limit. Again, even though it is a mini game, you're gonna have to kind of this week is gonna be a lot harder. Anyways, other than that, guys, thanks so much for participating. I loved this week. It was great. So many good submissions that I would even consider using in my own map. I learned a couple new things from you guys because I didn't know that leash knots apparently. I didn't think about. I didn't know that leash knots were entities. So apparently leash knots are entities that center in the middle of a block. I don't know. You learn something new every day, right? But anyways, thanks so much for submitting all these great things. Hopefully next week we will have different winners and some different scores. So hopefully we see a good variety and it will be a close match. You can't let Pepjin win. You can't just let him off that easily. He's not that far ahead. You can beat him. Trust me, it's possible. And I'm sorry if you're watching this Pepjin and you feel targeted. I'm just saying you're in the top. And a lot of people are going to be looking to do better than you. But that's just how competition is. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. I wish you the best of luck. Oh, I almost forgot. Another thing to note. I almost forgot. The most important thing. Okay, so while this screen, which is saying your scores, which you can go to, the link is in the description. It'll say the week 1 scores. It won't show week 2. It'll say how much each category is out of. There is a thing over here on the side that you can look at too. This is what the week 2 is going to be out of. So week 2 is the same as week 1 for scores, except creativity and design are swapped out. So creativity is now only 15 points, functionality is still 15, but now design is out of 30, so your minigame needs to look good as well. Difficulty still out of 10, and entertainment still out of 30 because it is a minigame, and the point of minigames is to be fun. Anyways, those are the updated categories. Keep those in mind. Pepjin pretty much only won because he basically met the criteria, and I don't want to say that he won because he abused the system. I'm just saying he won because the thing he made focused really well on creativity and entertainment, which were the stacked categories, and same with Chris Mattis. His focused on creativity and entertainment. So this week, keep that in mind. Make sure you focus on design and entertainment above all, because that is worth the most points, and that can help you get in the top score. Anyways, guys, the submission link will be in the description as always. You have until you get to see my calendar. Woo! You have. I'm cutting this week a little bit short, guys. But I feel like a week is more than enough time for you to make only 100 commands for a minigame because I'm trying to be able to do other things. Anyway, so you have until I don't want to not this Friday. You have until Saturday night. Okay, you have until Saturday night to upload your maps. So I'm only cutting it short by a little bit, but by 1 day. But you have until Saturday night, and then hopefully I will get the results out on Saturday as planned. Then you will have until the next Saturday to do week 3. Anyway, so Saturday night the 5th, you have until then. 12:59 or whatever the nighttime is for you. I'll accept it a little bit past, but when I post the video, I will close the form submission. Okay, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope I got to everything I needed to. I can't remember if I did. This has been really fun. I really like going over your submissions, and I hope I can also give back to you guys a little bit in the form of some tutorials coming up on how to do functions and stuff. Probably one maybe today. I don't know. I'll try to get stuff out. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.